Okay, folks, we'll call the regular meeting of the Park Board to order on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. At this time, we'll have Mary Cummings lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Mary. I assume everyone had the opportunity to look at the minutes, previous minutes. There's actually two in your packet. We have a special Park Board meeting minutes from May 29th of 2025, and we also have the regular board meeting of June 16th in 2025. I motion to approve both of those minutes, and I entertain a second. We have a second. Any discussion, changes? Any corrections? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Present communications, I just want to state that I got notice that Rusty and Zeb will be leaving the board. They're getting replaced by two other applicants, and Mary's staying on. That vote is going on tomorrow night at the City Council. I certainly want to thank Rusty and Zeb. Thank you so much for all the volunteering you did and all the positive input you put into our parks. It's much appreciated. We're also, because of the delay in appointing the park board members, we're going to have to move our elections once again. We'll move it to next meeting, which will be in August. And at that point, we'll have the new appointees at the board, and we can do an election of officers. That's all I have as present communications. Personal appearances, we have rock stars of the quarter. And Brian?
We actually, both of them could not be in attendance tonight. So we plan on having one, but something came up last minute today. So we'll do that recognition next month.
Okay. We'll move on to Councilman Liaison Report. Alex?
Yeah, so it's been relatively quiet, which I know you're going to sit there and scratch your head and go, wait a second. But we have some future things that might be drawing some attention. But other than the future things, it's been relatively quiet. So just thought, I know this is probably not going to be a surprise, but we have closed officially on the Olive Garden property. So I know you're going to sit there and think like, oh, they're already moving dirt. They were. But that I can happily say is officially closed. So that is officially happening, even though it looked like it already was. There is we did pass an ordinance that we're going to have a crosswalk right up here at Main and Y. And it's going to be a flashing crosswalk, and we are going to be changing how our sidewalk ordinances work because we don't have, so that way our enforcement can be better for that type of crosswalk. So just wanted to make you aware of that. We anticipate just about any day now that those materials are going to show up, and then we'll get them installed. There was some specific criteria we had to meet, worked with MoDOT for that stuff. If you haven't noticed, there is a movie being filmed here in Belton, which is kind of cool. They used different areas on our main street as well as different local businesses as backdrop for that movie. So it's kind of a neat thing going on. There was at least 4 of us, myself included, that participated as being an extra in the movie. Whenever it comes out, I don't know. It sounds like it's, editing and everything. That'll be a year from now or so. But
I thought maybe you could recreate your dance moves for us tonight.
Yeah, I did. I did have to pretend to dance and at a chili cook-off, and I was a little disappointed because all my time now as chili cook-off judges between the Lions Club and the city and whatever else, I thought maybe I could use that, but they wanted me over by the band apparently. But anyways, so it should be pretty cool when it comes out. It's always great to have some extra recognition for the city. Like I mentioned, we do have some upcoming things. You already mentioned park board appointees. Those have been nominated by the mayor. They now go to council for approval. That is set to take place tomorrow, as you pointed out. There's also the park board resolution, which I know is on, this is in this packet as well. But that'll also go through city council tomorrow for a work session to discuss it as well. And then there is also a work session about our dispatchers, our 911 dispatchers being consolidated with the Cass County. So if you have questions on that, which I imagine all of you in some type of way have probably had questions yourself or have gotten questions, hopefully we will have some better answers for all that tomorrow during the public work session. And I think that's everything I have that would be of interest to you all. But if you have any questions for me or anything, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Alex? The only thing that came up to me, Alex, was, and this is totally off what you've talked about, but someone had mentioned that they were going to fill their pool, and I always thought, I talked to them about it, and I told them, I said, well, you contact the city and tell them you're filling your pool, and then you won't get charged for the sewer part of it, because you're filling the pool, you're not actually putting it down the drain. And then someone mentioned that that's no longer true, that
There is, and I'll let Joe, if you have better knowledge on this, I'll let you speak up. But there is a winter averaging, or I forget what we call it, winter cost average or something of that you can use for that type of thing. I actually switch over and encourage anybody that's going to be watering their yard or their flowers are using more water than they do typically in the winter, to switch over to that so you don't get charged. You're still going to get charged for sewer, but it's going to be based on what you used in the winter. So it should, if you're filling a pool, for example, it should be a heck of a lot better than what you would normally be charged otherwise. So I would encourage them to look into that, and it's something as simple as you just send an email or, send an email or call, and the city will make that switch. And I don't know if we can do it for just like a day or two that it takes to, and then switch it back. I would anticipate we would want you to be on that for at least a month or so. Just for billing purposes, right? But either way, I would definitely recommend it for that person.
So there's still a charge for the sewer, it's going to be basically average from the whole year versus,
I believe
that
the
month.
average comes from the months of November, December, January, December, January, February, something like that.
There's actually a kicker on there too. Instead of, I think there's like a 10% surcharge added on for the whole year when you do that too, because I used to be on that years ago when I had a pool.
So so it's not exactly what you described, but there is an option. So
okay, great, thank you, I'll let them know.
yeah.
Any other questions for Alex? Thank you, Alex. Move on to the city manager report, and Joe?
Yeah, Alex kind of took everything as far as what's going on with the city, so I'd just be able to answer any questions if there are any that you might have for me.
Any questions for Joe? Thank you, Joe. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation reports. Director's report, Brian.
As I mentioned, our two rock stars of the second quarter 2025 could not be here tonight, so we'll move that to the August meeting to recognize their great work in our organization, so that they can be present for that. Most of you probably have been by High Blue to see all the progress on the pickleball. It's moving along very, very quickly. They were supposed to pour the second pad, which is more of the pedestrian access, tomorrow. Obviously, that didn't happen with all the rain today. But as quick as they work, I would anticipate that that'll just be pushed back one day to Wednesday. So, and just a reminder that the courts will sit for 28 days, and that's with intent for the curing process. I believe they will be back on site tomorrow to install the fencing, and as soon as it dries up, they'll actually start the backfill. We did have a change order that we will discuss here in a little bit that was pretty sizable, but they did encounter some rock excavation. We knew was not part of the bid, and so we knew that there was a chance of hitting rock. So we'll discuss that here in a little bit. The master plan implementation plan, we will begin working on that over the next 60 days to try to figure out what our phase one looks like. Once that is determined, we will come to you all with a presentation followed by the council. This is National Parks and Rec Month. I just wanted to thank each and every one of our 250-plus staff members, full-time, part-time, seasonal. We do a lot of great things for the community, and I just want to recognize their efforts. Any questions?
Nobody? Okay. Thank you, Brian. Looking at the department reports, everything's in your packet. Aquatics, is there anything you'd like to highlight in that? Excellent, thank you. Any questions about anything in the packet on aquatics? Moving on to High Blue, there's a senior talent show, kitten yoga, and senior gala. Any comments or questions on that, or anything they want to highlight? Yep.
We had a variety of talent, and I want to commend the Parks and Rec Department because they put on a really nice little encore performance at the end with a couple of numbers. So they showed how they're in the department. Paul Kaufman, if you guys know him, he told quite the story that he implicated Dave into some shady doings. And then we had one high school senior who participated, which I thought was really awesome if we could get more of the high school seniors involved in the senior talent show. So it was a nice, and you gave away some pickleball sets, so that's going to go well with the new pickleball court. So that's my thing on the senior talent show.
I'm just shocked that Annette Braun hasn't got the rest of these guys involved in her little skits.
Yeah, there were grass skirts and dancing. There was a
Tutus and
dinosaur, and there were people. The seniors from the talent show got back up and danced, even though that wasn't their talent during the talent show. So it was a lot of fun. So Dave, good job. We'll expect year 3 next summer.
Dave, we had a very important meeting at the same time.
Very good. Any other questions or comments on the High Blue? Marketing, we had special events. The LWCF, I noticed in that it's going to the final phase of that, which sounds very promising, probably the furthest we've been in a long time. Anyone have any questions on the marketing that's in the packet?
If we're live tonight, you might want to tell them what the LWCF is for those listening.
Go ahead.
So the LWCF is a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. It's funded through the National Park Service. It's a federal grant. I believe our grant request was for $400,000, and we just did a study of the ground on the location, which is pretty promising. We're still holding out, but we're just waiting on the government to tell us that, to give us the green light and then notice to proceed, and then we'll have everything ready to go for the bidding process. And hopefully we'll be doing demolition and constructing the actual playground over the winter months, and then the surfacing and the concrete will come in the spring when the weather allows.
Very good. Any other questions, comments? Parks and facilities. I know there's some water park repairs. Of course, the pickleball courts you spoke of earlier, and I know they've got a great start on the Cleveland Lake dock as well. Any questions or comments or anything you need to highlight, Nick? No? Hearing none, we'll move on. Recreation, Joaquin. In the packet is a fall sports update. I know we've had a very successful summer camp. I know that was winding up. And there's a new event, skateboarding event. Anything you need to highlight, Joaquin, in the packet? No? Any questions? Okay, we'll move on. Standing Committee reports Finance. Jennifer's out of the state, but the finances are in the packet. One thing I will note, sales tax is considerably down for this month. Actually, it's the month of April when this, where the reporting is, but it seems a little low. I'm sure it will bounce back. Our revenues were down a little bit, but thankfully, with the great staff that we have, they kept our expenses in check, and expenses are way low, which makes our numbers look much better. So, great job to the staff on that. Any questions on the finance? Hearing none. Recreation.
We did meet. We met on July 15th, had 100% attendance. It was awesome. That's when I learned about the August 1st skateboarding competition at High Blue, 4 p.m., available to all ages. And I think we have a seasoned veteran who might be really gung-ho to get in there and do that, correct? Me if I'm wrong, but don't you have somebody who's really, okay. We talked about the deadlines for all the things coming up for soccer, flag football. Summer camp report was great. They had a good turnout. Joaquin told us it was a little slow until public school finished their summer school, and then we picked back up where we usually are. We talked about spring. Everything worked out well, even with Mother Nature's interference here and there, just like she's done this summer. We discussed other ways to advertise some of the things that we do, so we brainstormed a few of those, didn't come up with anything. And September 13th is Rock the Lake. That's going to be a fun one that we always have. And if I'm forgetting anything, please fill me in. Got it? Okay. Oh, and I am going to check on a couple other things, and hopefully I'll report out on those next month, but I don't have data on that yet.
Great. Any questions for Mary on recreation? Thank you, Mary.
We have great minutes because Shanna took our minutes.
Good. Building Grounds did not meet, and I know Dave's out of town for personnel, and they did not meet as well. So move on to unfinished business and the Cleveland Lake restroom. Brian?
So, just as a kind of a reminder, we've put this bid out twice now, and we just have not had good results. The most recent bid we put out was a general contractor bid, and it came in about roughly $250,000 over bid, specifically with the restroom facility, because we bid that with the restroom and the parking lot expansion as one bid under the general contractor. And to build the restroom, it came in around $320,000, I believe. Kevin and I we've talked with our architectural team, and we're obviously really frustrated with these numbers. And so we've gone back, and we're gonna move forward with this with a prefabbed unit. It's about a 6-month turnaround time. So what you all have in front of you is a quote. This is a cooperative Sourcewell bidded kit, and it's basically concrete. It will come in pre-manufactured in 2 halves. This includes the delivery and the crane to set it. We will still have to have a prepared. It's not a slab. It's basically a chat base, because CXT builds their prefabs on a concrete pad already. So it'll basically just sit down on the rough end plumbing, and then we will just have the contractor attach the main services, the electrical, the plumbing, and the MEP, mechanical. So I know that doesn't show up real well in the black and white. That's it, right there. So we are recommending the approval of this Montrose, prefabbed unit through CXT for $291,801. Questions?
Have you all seen these units?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you said you went out for bids on the restrooms. What did those come out? Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
There's one just like this one, a little bit different exterior over at Hawk Ridge and Raymore. But what was your question on the bid?
So you said you went out for bids and they came in high, so obviously higher than,
Yeah, I believe it was around 320 just for a contractor to build one with block and basically what they call a stick build with a steel roof. And so we went back and started looking at these prefabbed units. And we're just trying to protect our taxpayer dollar with construction costs are just really, really high right now. And
What's the durability compared between the two?
these are made of pretty much solid concrete, even the roofs, the walls, everything is pretty much, other than the fixtures on the inside.
Okay.
And we spent the money on stainless steel. It's a little bit more, to be honest with you. But porcelain just will not last. They'll tear the porcelain up.
So do we, since it's pre-manufactured, but the dollar amount's high enough, is the prevailing wage in this
Yes, it's already built
already
in.
built in?
Yes,
This a budgeted amount?
yes. And just to be clear, there will still be an added cost for the site prep, they call it, the site prep.
Basically do
Which will
the-
be to bring the main utilities up underneath the ground and to prepare I call it chat, what they call it,
AB3?
AB3, more than likely, is what it'll call for. And that will be under the general contractor bid.
so do you know the cost of that?
We don't know the cost of that because although the prefabbed unit plans have been reapproved through the city, we're still waiting on the parking lot expansion because they did make a significant change to that with the retention pond. Kevin, I didn't realize that the retention pond wasn't required. They put it in there anyway, and it was like $90,000. So we're having them take that out. So we are working with the general contractor, but they're waiting for the plans to be approved through the city, which we're getting close on that.
I make a motion that we approve this bid from Montrose with the privacy screen at $291,801.
Second.
You have 2 seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Hey, just real quick, I think I heard, Zeb, did you just say that these are, an example of this would be at Hawk Ridge and Raymore? Did I hear that?
Brian said that.
Oh, for some reason I thought I heard it come from over there. So, so I just want to make sure I understand. So if residents want to check this out or whatever, the Hawk Ridge Park in Raymore, just pretty close to us actually. Their restrooms are built the same way. Is that
Yep.
what? Okay, cool,
Yeah, it's almost identical.
awesome, thanks.
Our privacy fence is a little bit different out in front. And they have the lap siding design. I mean, it's concrete, but it looks like lap siding where we went with a stucco look. That probably be the only two differences that you'll see. And the roofs look like shingles or cedar. Look like cedar shakes, but they're actually a concrete form.
Very good. Wallace Park Trail?
So we opened bids this past month for the mill and overlay of the Wallace Park Trail. We actually had a really good turnout, a very competitive bid on this one. We will make a recommendation to approve the Paradise bid for $65,160. We have used Paradise on several trail projects and have been pleased. I will note that on the far right of that bid tab that you have, there is a fee for base repair. Obviously, we don't know any base repairs that are required. So just so you know that the bid, the final invoice could come in higher than the $65,160. They're pretty confident it would be minimal, but I just want to be clear on that. Any questions?
And this is budgeted?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the Paradise Pavement Maintenance Agreement for the mill and overlay of Wallace Park Trail at $65,160. We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Pickleball change order.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, when they were excavating the outer edge, they ran into rock. Basically, it's the furthest third on the western half, and they had to excavate about 12 inches. So, I mean, they did tell us ahead of time what the square yard fee is, and after all said and done, there's a $48,500 change order.
That's a lot. That's hauled.
It's a lot.
353.5 tons. It's a lot.
It's a lot. So Shannon and I've talked. I know you guys are probably wondering where we're going to come up with this money. We have the money, first of all. I've talked to Shannon. I've actually had a conversation with Casey at City Hall Finance. Basically, if the account at the end of the year is over, then we'll have to do it. We'll have to do an amendment to the budget. But we'll see how the rest of these projects come in. And
It's $48,500, is that correct?
yes, the work, obviously, it was done over the 4th of July weekend, so it's done. We owe it. Please approve it.
I'm going to ratify a motion to approve the $48,500 change order to Target Sports. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mill and overlay for Bill Jones Drive here at the Wellness, or not here, but at the Wallace Park.
Been working with Gray, our Public Works Director, and I believe it's his assistant, Ryan. Ryan is the project manager on the city side for all of the asphalt work being done with Superior Bowen. We made them aware of our project. Superior Bowen agreed to do our work at the same contracted price as the city. The budget amount was $74,000, and so I recommend that we accept their estimate at $73,130. And we are waiting for this second concrete pour at the pickleball courts to be done so that we're not bringing heavy concrete trucks on brand new asphalt. So this work should be done in about 3 weeks.
Once again, Brian, I assume this is a budgeted amount?
Yes.
And this is for the road going into High Blue?
This is
it
the- yeah.
parking lots or anything?
It's the one-way drive in and out, and then also around the flagpole.
Okay.
Yeah, no parking lots.
Make the motion to approve the bid of $73,130.50.
Second.
Mary seconds. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business. Farming MOU.
This is a MOU for the farming of the Dryden land. It is a 1-year contract. And I think it goes through, I have through January 13th, but it should, it's pretty much done when they harvest the beans. So I just put a little bit longer time frame than harvest time. So once the soybeans are harvested, we will go in and plant the native grasses and wildflowers. So this allows us to utilize the farmer to clear the land, and then we just go in and drill. After that, it's already prepped and ready to go.
One thing I noticed on the contract, that it says it ends on January 13th, 2025.
That would be a typo.
It ended before it began.
Yep. So we do need to reflect a change on that.
Sorry. That's why I said we ended before we began.
So once this is, once or if this is approved, then at that point, he'll bring the certificate of insurance in, at that point?
I already have it.
You already have it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is already planted, right?
Oh, yeah, somebody can watch over
What-
that, can't they?
I'm sorry,
So-
what does that
How
do
many
for
acres?
the land? Can people still access trails that we got the trails cut in?
Yeah, you can still access. I mean, there'll be portions that you probably can't get to, but
Yeah, okay.
Roughly how many acres, Kevin?
30, I think roughly 30 acres. So this was a struggle to find a farmer to farm the land for 1 year only and get them to do it. There was a little bit of prep that needed to be done. So it was a struggle. I had a couple that said that they were going to do it, and then in the last minute, they backed out on me. So had to kind of hurry because time was of the essence in getting the stuff planted. So,
Yeah, it says it's 38 acres of tillable land. I knew I'd
Yeah.
read that somewhere.
30, I think they come
38.
up with about 30. Yes.
I make a motion, we approve the MOU with the change of the date terminating on January 13th of 2026. We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Comments? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? MOU is approved.
All right, so you all know that we have a little issue with the rec pool. It's been a continuing problem for us, so we are going to start looking into replacing that unit. The lead time could be anywhere from 6 to 9 months on that. We're looking at other units besides the engineered air that we have. I got some numbers today. We're looking at probably between $425,000 to $450,000 to replace that unit. Hopefully that will be the ducting inside. We do need to replace the fabric sock inside as well, so hopefully we can get that included in that price. So, and those are high, probably high numbers, but I don't want to underestimate it with the rising costs of stuff. So I'm gonna go look at a unit, I believe that they put in, Raytown School District for their pool. It's kind of a new technology. It recirculates the air, brings in fresh air 5 times more than the current unit that we have. So, and is, I don't know, probably 3 times more energy efficient in the dehumidification process.
You know how long they've had theirs in, Raytown?
I think it may be a few years. But I'll have a lot of questions for him on maintenance and stuff like that.
Life expectancy of the unit and.
Well, when you get into that corrosive environment, it significantly knocks it down. So 20 years at the most, but I think we're at, what, 15 on our current unit? And the whole inside, you know, everything that holds the filters and everything that's inside the unit is so corroded it's starting to fall apart. So,
And the Belton School District doesn't have a comparable or comparable.
so they have a different unit. They have ducts that come down to the ground, so. But I'm gonna explore all options and see what the best unit is. I mean, because there may be a unit, the way our building's designed, that we can't use or won't work for us, so I gotta dig into that. So,
Takes 6 to 9 months, you said, to get one?
yeah, they're all custom built for your facility. So, just to let you guys know, I'm gonna be starting to really push for this. It's something that we need to get replaced. We've been kind of, I wouldn't say Band-Aiding, but it's time to replace it.
Band-aiding, that's a good word. So you think you're gonna try to get it the last quarter of this fiscal year or on next year's?
Probably next year's
Okay.
budget, but I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, I need to order it
Right.
now, so I don't know how we're gonna. Hopefully, I'm gonna check to see if we do have to do any sort of down payment to order it and get it in production. So I'll let you know.
Any other questions or comments on that? Thank you, Kevin. 2025 Park Board Resolution. In the packet, you'll see a resolution in there that basically spells out, I believe, it spells out what we've currently been doing as far as following the city's purchasing agreement, other than changing out, for example, where it says city council, we put in park board. Where it says city manager, we plug in park director. And I guess I'll ask Joe, I assume that that Patrick constructed this or else has approved of the verbiage?
Yes, Patrick was heavily involved in this, absolutely.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I talked to Norm about all this, not a couple weeks ago. I thought he said that we were gonna put something in there that defines the land. Is that,
We have that coming in a different resolution. We're working on some survey work because the second fire station and the police station are included as one piece of land with High Blue. And so we need to get that surveyed so we can separate those out, and then we'll take the legal definitions or legal descriptions and do a resolution to define parkland, yes.
So it'll be a separate resolution, not a
Correct.
part of this.
Correct. Yeah, we're just waiting on the survey work to get back so we can put that one together.
So
is
I
there
just
a,
had, Dave, it's a great question because I had the same one.
I guess, I asked Norman Larkey, the mayor, in case people don't know who Norm is, why we're asking to separate the land and all that stuff. I mean, it's still city land, right? I mean, it's all based on zoning.
Yeah, I think, yeah, well, I don't know if it's not based on zoning, it's based off legal descriptions and so it just gives some clarity for the public, for you all, that, you know, the council's identified this is park land, and then if there's any discussion in the future, there's no longer well, this is what the zoning map says, and this is what who's been maintaining it. It's just defined and clear, and it's all public.
So I guess my next question is, every time a developer comes in and let's say does a subdivision and donates land to the city, you're gonna add on to that resolution then?
You can do a resolution just to add that to it.
Okay.
So I met with Patrick on Thursday. Have you talked to Patrick since Thursday? Because unless he was mistaken, this document, he told me he hadn't seen it, and I've sent a couple of emails I've had a couple of questions for reassurance, and I haven't heard back.
This has been reviewed by him.
Okay.
He just hasn't answered your question, Jeff.
It was my understanding from our joint meeting that Patrick wanted some document that council would approve that would give us authority to do what we're doing, and I just wanted to make sure that he had seen this and that everything was in there that he wanted as a city attorney, so that we wouldn't have to go back and do this again if he hadn't. And I was hoping to hear back for the meeting, but I haven't.
Well, I will tell you, I don't feel comfortable approving this resolution unless Patrick does answer your questions before we approve it as a board. My opinion, he just needs to call and answer your questions.
Okay.
So do we just table this till next month? Is that a possibility, or?
Council's not taking this up as just as a work session tomorrow, so it's not being put into the new business yet.
Okay.
My anticipation is that we discuss this at council tomorrow, and the hope is that we come to some clarity on what their expectations are, and if it differs from what this says, then we probably need to get back together as a big group and have more conversation.
I would really feel comfortable doing that. That way the transparency is not questioned. And from either side. So that would be my.
I make a motion that we table this resolution until we get more answers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I do have I guess a concern on the heading of the resolution, that it's granting the Parks and Rec legal authority to make these purchases and enter into contracts. We've been doing it all along, and so the wording of that makes it sound like what we've done in the past was not legal.
Well, and that's my understanding. That's a legal question for the city attorney, is that, you know, the way the charter is written does not necessarily give the park board authority to do so. And a contract that's not been formally approved by the governing body is not binding unless they've given authority some other way to allow that to be approved.
If I may, yes, we have the right, I mean, we can purchase what we need to purchase. What we cannot do is put the city in debt. And what Joe just mentioned, sign a contract that's actually going to create debt for the city. That's something that has to be approved by the council, that we can't do that. My understanding, anyway. Any other comments?
And that should be on Patrick's list of questions. Maybe you can include those, Brian.
Would you all like for me just to invite him to the August meeting?
That,
Or
I'm
you
fine
c-
with that.
or
if-
you can
if
send
we
me-
can't move this along further, faster. I mean, I just don't
Sometime-
like keep talking about something and on. I feel like we're spinning wheels and we're not making progress. I want our weight on our front foot moving forward. So, yes, if we don't have anything before then, certainly have him as a guest at next meeting.
Okay.
I feel like this document is progress. And so,
It is.
and we don't want to rush through it to the next one. So if we're just slow and steady to be sure we get everything answered as they come, rather than, oh, wait, I forgot to ask that question. Is it too late now? So that gives us time to even get a hold of Brian and ask questions that we may come up with after we leave here tonight.
I'll just add, make sure you talk to, I know you've reached out to Patrick, I heard you, and you're just waiting on a response, but I have heard, I know that he doesn't like to talk about if we have like true legal questions that are going to talk about our legal plan, it's not sometimes it's better done in an executive session. So that's why I would just say, before you openly invite them to this meeting, that double check with them just from that regard, because it could put us in liability of some type. I know that he has concerns there,
Absolutely.
so.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
That's a very
And we
good
could always
point.
have executive after our regular meeting next month, so.
Yep.
Motion carries, by the way, to close that motion.
Oh, okay.
Any announcements?
I don't know if this is old news, but when I went to my public safety meeting the other night, there's an app now to stay in the know for emergency preparedness. So I have the QR code and I have a little flyer, if anybody's interested in getting that on their phone about being emergency aware. So, and the QR code that's on the flyer is the same one that's on that little card. But I thought I'd just share tonight since it was
Very
the
good.
crazy flooding and storms and stuff we've had.
Thank you. Any other announcements? This time I make a motion to move into executive session to discuss matters pertaining to legal actions according to the Missouri statute 610.021.1, that record be closed and the meeting adjourned from there. Need a second?
Second.
Mary?
Yep.
I'm a yes. Dave? Zeb? Adrian? Patty? Yes. We're now in executive session. Thank you all.